I flew Swiss Air going to Lisbon and I really enjoyed this flight. I felt super safe. They handed everyone a pillow and a blanket. The food was pretty good too. I am plant-based, so I opted for I think it was cheesy pasta, and they did hand out real utensils with the food, which I thought was a nice touch. And then the flight attendants suggested that I also have a sparkling wine with my dinner, and who was I to turn them down? I mean, it was a good suggestion. The very first thing I did after flying was rest. I was pretty jet lagged. Then I hit the ground running the very next day and began exploring the city. The first place that I went to was the market, and of course I had to get some gelato. Then I got in a tuk-tuk and took a tour of the city. Now, my preferred method of travel in a new city is usually walking, but I did get a bit of a late start because of the jet lag, and so I felt like a tuk-tuk would be a better move. This city has quite a bit of tile work on the floor as well as on buildings. After a bit of exploring, I went back to my hostel for dinner, and then while I was there, I met some girlies who wanted to go out that night. The next day, I found myself on a 4-hour boat ride. Of course, I had to wear something super cute, so I put on this white bodysuit with a pair of loose white shorts with lemons on them and my white Vans. Alright, so sometimes people ask me about how I get good pictures while traveling, and the answer to that is a tripod. I'm sorry, my camera's doing really weird things right now in terms of the lighting, but I use a tripod, and then I connect my phone to my Canon, and then I just get to snap in, and I can adjust the exposure and the settings to make sure that I get really great photos. And then I usually use a live view on my phone so that way I can see the poses that I'm doing and make sure that the photo looks okay. Although right now I am in the shade, so things might get weird with the settings, but I'm gonna try my best because I really like this background. What is up, guys? So right now I have some downtime in my schedule, so I'm gonna grab a scooter and go up and down the coast and see what I can find. Walking around a city is definitely my favorite way to explore it, but I don't have a whole lot of time today because I'm going to a soccer game later, so I thought maybe a scooter might be the next bet. Okay, so I found a scooter, but I have no idea how this thing works. Let's figure it out. I just realized I also need this thing to be at least mostly fully charged, and I don't know how to do that either, so let's figure it out. Okay, so I found a scooter that's fully charged, but I have no idea how this thing works, and apparently I need to do something with a kickstand and then push off and go, and I'm a little terrified, but it'll be fine. If your city has one of these scooter things, it's really fun and you should definitely get on one. After 3 days in Lisbon, I went over to Lagos, which I must say I did enjoy more than Lisbon just because I was ready to hit the beach. And also, the beaches there were quite stunning. I was pretty wiped from traveling from Lisbon to Lagos, so the first day I kept it pretty simple and just relaxed on the beach. By the second day, I was ready to see some of Portugal's famous caves, so I went on a boat tour. The first half of the boat tour was on a larger boat that went around the coast, and the second half of the boat tour was actually done on a smaller boat so we could get inside the caves. I got some all-you-can-eat sushi with my hostel buddies. Then I took a 6-hour surfing lesson where the conditions were a little rough. So things started out a little tough, but we made it in the end. And eventually I started to figure it out again, as this was my second surfing lesson. For my last day in Lagos, I went over to these cliffs and caught the sunset, which is one of my favorite things to do while traveling. It was a perfect goodbye.